I'll give you the outline, a little modified for the course of Probability Methods in Engineering, W251. This is a little modified outline because of this corona scenario. Now there are two instructors, myself, Dr. Ziaul Haq Abbas, and then the other instructor for section C, which is Mr. Zevar Ali. I'll be responsible for the lecture delivery, and Mr. Zevar Ali will be doing all the interactive sessions and assignments for you. The course contents are the same, divided into four major portions. The first is already covered, the probability concepts. Discrete random variables, we have covered only the single variable part, and we simply introduced the giant two variable case for discrete random variables in the last lecture of week number 8, just before the mid-exam. So from week number 9 onwards, we'll first complete the giant discrete random variables, and then we'll move on to continuous random variables. First single continuous random variable, and then multiple continuous random variable. And in the last week of the course, I'll give some introduction to stochastic processes. This is the course outline, the CLOs and PLO for the course. As you know, there are 4 CLOs for the course. First one is already covered, which is the fundamental of probability theory and random variables. The second is that you at the end of the course, you should be able to model a given physical phenomenon using the knowledge of discrete random variables. This CLO has also been partially touched. CLO 3 is about the same thing as for CLO 2, but with respect to continuous random variables, and the CLO 4 is for touching the concept of stochastic processes. This is the CLO assessment mechanisms. You must have noticed that we have modified a bit these weightages. We have increased the percentage for assignments because of this corona scenario. This is the overall grading policy. Again, you notice that we have increased this percentage and this percentage, and we have given a little more percentage to the assignments. This is the textbook, Riley Yates and David J. Goodman, already discussed with you guys, and these are some reference books. Moving on, this is the lecture breakdown. We have covered 8 weeks as yet, and we have discussed the the discrete random variables, but only for one-dimensional case. And from week number 9 and onwards, first I'll discuss the giant discrete distributions, and then we'll move on to the continuous random variables, and at the end of the course I'll talk about the stochastic processes, only the basics of that. Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I'll start chapter number 3 in the course of probability methods in engineering, and please note that this lecture is for all the 3 sections of this course, A, B and C. These 2 are from the electronics stream, and this section C is for in the power stream. We'll start chapter 3, that is about multiple discrete random variables. Initially I'll tell you the basics, and then we'll move on to 2 random variables taken together, and we'll discuss their probability distributions, giant probability distributions, and the higher statistics, and then we'll move on to generalize the concepts to more than 2 discrete random variables taken together. So the first topic in this chapter is giant probability mass function. So we'll start this today, inshallah. Giant probability mass function, or we'll call it giant PMF. Giant PMF would mean, as I told you, we'll take two discrete random variables together and develop the concepts around the giant PMF of the two random variables. So the giant PMF of two random variable is denoted with this symbol, P sub x comma y of x comma y, and this basically means the probability that the random variable x assumes this particular value and random variable y assumes this particular value. So this is what we mean by the giant PMF, the probability that the random variable x assumes a particular value small x out of the set of assumable values, set of all the assumable values of this random variable x, and simultaneously the intersection, the giant occurrence with the value of random variable y. So now this means that this PMF, this giant distribution, giant PMF of the two random variables x and y denoted as P sub x comma y of x comma y is nothing but the probability that the random variable x assumes one of the values from its set of assumable values, and please note this is for and the intersection, as I told you in the few lectures in the past, and the random variable y assumes a particular value. So now one of the PMF values is basically the probability of the giant occurrence of this and this value. We'll move on and develop the concepts on how to write the giant distributions. I'll give you a quick example, and then we'll develop on the methodologies, the concepts on how to write the giant distribution. So if you could read this, I'll read it for you. You test two ICs one after the other. On each test, the possible outcomes are A, acceptable, and R, reject. Remember, there are only two ICs. Assume that all circuits are acceptable with probability 0.9 and that the outcomes of successive tests are independent. Keep this independence concept in mind. Now you count the number of acceptable circuits, call it random variable x. So the number of acceptable circuits is x, and count the number of tests, the number of tests y, before the test that discovers the first reject. Before, please note this, before the test that discovers the first reject. Now you draw a tree diagram for the experiment and find the giant PMF of x and y. So I'll now develop giant distribution for this particular problem. You see there are two random variables, x, which is the number of acceptable circuits, and y, which is the number of tests before you observe the first reject. So if you observe the first reject in the first go, y is 0. So as per the statement of our problem, let me draw a tree diagram. You have an accept, or you have a reject. An accept is with 0.9 probability, as already given in the statement of the problem. You don't need to assume that, you don't need to calculate that. You simply take this value, probability value for accept, and obviously the rest of the probability is for reject, which is 0.9. If you find an accepted, the tree diagrams goes like this. Remember, there are only two tests, so just two branches on one go, on one path. Again, an accept, a probability, a possibility, or a reject is a possibility, and similarly, if you get your first reject, you still have a possibility of an accept, or you have a possibility of a reject with probability 0.9, 0.1, 0.9, and 0.1. So the probability for this path is 0.81. Probability for this path is 0.09. Probability for this path is 0.09 and the probability for this path is 0.01. Here you note that x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2, number of acceptable circuits, and the number of tests before you find the first reject. You have not found the first reject, both are acceptable. You have performed 2 tests, so y is equal to 2. On similar note, x is equal to 1 here and y is equal to 1 here, x is equal to 1 here, y is equal to 0 here, x is equal to 0 here, and y is equal to 0 here. Let me tell you that you don't need to worry at this moment. You don't need to worry on how we have generated these values. It's not more important to see how these values of x and y are generated. It is more important to see how these values and their corresponding probabilities are put together in the form of a giant distribution. So there are basically 3 methods of writing a giant distribution of 2 discrete random variables. So I'll use this data to now write the giant distribution. One way is the usual conventional way, and that is the list method, where you write the giant distribution p sub x comma y of x comma y as a list. So you see the probability is 0.81 for x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 2, this entry. Then you have a probability 0.09 for x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 1. And then you have a probability 0.09 for x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0. And you also have a probability 0.01 for x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0, and obviously the rest of the probability is simply 0. So this is a list containing all the possibilities of the giant intersections and their corresponding probabilities. This data has been put in a list form here. That's it. This is one of the conventional methods. Another is the matrix form, where you put the probability distribution in a kind of matrix fashion. So let me do it for you now. The giant distribution p sub x comma y of x comma y, and here are say the values of random variable y, which are ranging from 0, 1 till 2, and similarly the values of x, which is 0, 1 and 2. Now what is the probability? That this entry will basically indicate the probability that x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0, the PMF point in the giant distribution where x and y meet at 0, 0. So this probability is 0.01. You see, this is basically the same entry here. So this probability in the list has been put here. Similarly, probability that x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1 simultaneously is not occurring, so the probability is 0 here. Similarly, the probability is 0 here. For x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0, you see this particular entry, x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0, so this probability is 0.09. Similarly, x1, y1, this probability is 0.09. This probability is 0. x1, y2 is not a possibility here. Now probability x2, y0 is 0. x2, y1 is 0. And the probability of giant occurrence of x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 2 is 0.81. Always remember, the sum of all the probabilities in a particular distribution is always equal to 1. Excuse me.
Always remember, the sum of the probabilities in any distribution, any probability distribution, is always equal to 1. You add up all these probabilities, it will be a 1. You add up all the probabilities, it will be a 1. Yet another way of writing the giant distribution is the plot method. You plot the probabilities. So here we go. On x-axis you have the values of random variable x, and on y-axis you have the values of random variable y. And suppose this is the origin, so x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0 here. Say this is x is equal to 1 and this is x is equal to 2. Similarly, y is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2. Now, what is the probability that x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0? You can use this table or this list, or even these entries. So you plot it here, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, a plot here, a point here. The height of this point is basically the probability in the third dimension. So this x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0 is nothing but 0.01. We have another probability at x is equal to 0, sorry, x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0. So this probability point is 0.09. Similarly, we have a probability point here and its probability is 0.09, and we have an x is equal to 2, y is equal to 2 point as well, and its probability is 0.81. Sorry about that, it's normal cough. So you see now all these probability points have been plotted. So we can call it as a giant PMF plot, the giant PMF of random variables x and y, where each of the entries is one point in the PMF. So this point is nothing but p sub x comma y of 2 comma 2. This entry is p sub x comma y of x equal to 1, yes, 1 comma 1, and so on. So now we have seen how we can write the three giant distribution. One way is to write in this fashion. This is the list form, this is the matrix form of writing the same probability distribution, and this is obviously the plot of the distribution. So hopefully now you would have understood how we can giantly write the distributions of probability distribution of two random variables. We will move on from here and develop a few more concepts, but one important thing you should have noted, and I have also told you, that the summation on all x, all y, p sub x comma y of x comma y is always equal to 1. Please remember, this is true for any dimensional distribution, whether it is one-dimensional distribution, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, n-dimensional. The total sum of the probabilities in a particular distribution is always equal to 1. Now I'll move on to another an important theorem on a new page. I told you in the previous lectures that when you have a subset in the total sample space, then for a discrete random variable, then the probability of that subset, some event, is equal to all the points that are contained in that particular event, is equal to the sum of the individual probabilities of all the points in that event or in that subset. Same goes here. So if we have any subset B in an xy plane, now you see this is an xy plane, so we have these probability points here. So now I'll develop a theorem, and that theorem says that for any subset B, you can call it an event, for any subset B of the xy plane, the probability of the event x comma y in B is like this: probability of B is equal to sum on all those x comma y points in B. You basically take the probability values of all those points from the giant distribution, and then you sum them up and you get the probability of the event B. If you go to the one-dimensional case, for example, you throw a six-sided die, okay, and this is just an elaboration from the previous point. So you have, say, a one-dimensional distribution for a six-sided die. So the outcomes are these, and then you suppose create a subset or an event B from this bigger sample space. So what is the probability of this event B? It is basically the sum of individual probabilities of all the points within B. So basically now this is 4 out of 6. Same goes here, but in two-dimensional case. You take the giant distribution and you take out the probabilities of all those points which are in B, obviously from that giant distribution, and then you sum up all those probabilities. This is the sum of the probability points in B out of the total sample space, and that gives you the probability of the event B. This theorem will help us, but before we move on, I'll give you a quick pictorial example for that. So you see, let me move it towards the camera. For example, this particular example, you see the event B in this particular xy plane, which represents the giant distribution of x and y random variables arbitrarily taken, and now you define an event B which is x plus y less than or equal to 3. So below this line, all the entries, all the points are contained in this event B. So the probability of this event B will basically be the sum of all the probabilities of individual points contained in B. Another example is this circle with radius 3. So the probability of B here will be all the points contained within this particular circle. The same thing has been already told to you through this expression. So this is how we understand the giant distribution and the probabilities of the events taken out of that giant distribution. This is the first topic. We'll move on to another important concept, and that is the individual distributions to be taken out of the giant distribution. Giant distribution here is the distribution of x and y, but remember, x is a random variable, y is also another discrete random variable. So we should be able to find the individual distribution of random variable x, which means the PMF of x, and we should be able to find the PMF of y from the giant distribution. I have already told you how to do this. I'll do it again here through an example first. So the next concept is about marginal PMF. In two-dimensional case, marginal PMF would be the individual PMFs of x and y. So if you have a giant distribution of x and y represented as this, you see there are two random variables. You can always find the individual distribution of random variable x and random variable y by utilizing the expression of the PMF of the giant distribution. And I have told you how you do this. So if you have a giant PMF of two random variables and you want to find the marginal or the individual PMF of random variable x, this is always easy. As I told you, you simply use that Terminator movie concept where you fuse all the points together to create a point of to all the spheres fused together to create a larger sphere. So you see here, I'll just repeat one of my previous lectures concepts. If you want to find the total probability on the y axis, you simply place some scale here and push all these probability points along the x direction towards y axis. So when you push them here, these are all brought here, here and here. So this point will reach here, this point will reach here, and these 2 points will be fused here. So now the total probability at 0 on y axis will be 0.1 plus 0.9. This volume plus this volume. So the total will be 0.01 plus 0.09. So the total volume here, or the probability in other words, will be 0.1. There is just one point, it reaches here. So the probability that random variable y assumes a value of 1 will be 0.81. Sorry, 0.09, this point. And this point will reach here. So the p sub y of 2 will be 0.81. So now you see how easy it is to get the individual probability from the giant distribution. Very simple. You simply sum all the probability points in the giant distribution along x-axis to find the PMF of y, and along y-axis like this to get the PMF of x. You simply sum all the points. So this is what I mean now. You have the giant PMF, you want to find the PMF of x, so you sum all the giant distribution points along y. This is what we did here. You want to find the PMF of x, which means the probability of x is equal to 0, x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2. So you simply sum along y all the probability points in the giant distribution. So there is no point here, just this one point, 2 points fused together. So here, so now sum of this and this point will basically be the probability that the random variable x assumes a value of 1, and this point will be brought here. And similarly, if you want to find the PMF of y, you simply take the giant distribution of x and y and you sum them up, all those points along x-axis. Now what is the catch here? the catch is that if you have a giant distribution available and you want to find the individual distribution or the marginal distribution out of this giant distribution, so you sum up the giant distribution along the random variable which is not contained here. So you see, if you want to find the distribution of x, you sum the giant distribution on y, and if you want to find the distribution of y, the PMF of y, you sum the giant distribution along x. Always remember this, even if it is for 3-dimensional distribution, 4-dimensional distributions, any distribution, you want to have marginal distribution of some variable, you take the giant distribution, sum the giant distribution along all the variables except the one on which you want that distribution. In this particular case, just x and y, so you want the distribution on x, so you sum the giant distribution on y. You want on y, you sum the giant probability points along x. Now I'll take an example, and the example is something like this. You have a giant distribution of x and y, so y is equal to 0 here, y is equal to 1 here, and y is equal to 2 here. This is the giant PMF p sub x comma y of x comma y, and here x is equal to 0, x is equal to 1, and x is equal to 2. We have already done this example. I'll simply repeat that example. The probability x0 y0 is 0.01, a 0 here, a 0 here, 0.09 here, 0.09 here, a 0, 0, and 0.81. This is the same example that we did a few minutes ago. So how to find the individual distribution or the marginal distribution, or in other words, the marginal PMF. The marginal PMF is so simple. You want to find the PMF of y, which means what is the individual probability that y is equal to 0, y is equal to 1, and y is equal to 2. So I'll write it here. So p sub y of y, sum along x-axis. So you sum along x-axis all the probability points in the giant distribution. So when you sum them along x-axis, only these 3 points are added up, and that gives you 0.1. You sum along axis the giant distribution, so you sum all these, it reaches at y is equal to 1, which is represented or written here, so it becomes 0.09, and similarly these 3 points when summed up will be 0.81. And similarly you can have the marginal distribution or the individual distribution of the random variable x. So you'll have p sub x of x here when you sum the giant distribution points along y. So when you sum them, these 3 points along y, which means on this particular path, you get the total points summed up at x is equal to 0. So the sum of these 3 points is 0.01. Similarly here it is 0.1, and here it is 0.81. There is one important catch here again, and that is, if you sum up all these giant distribution points, what you note is that the total probability is equal to 1. See, 0.09 plus 0.09 plus 0.01 is 0.19 plus 0.81, so it makes it 1. So the sum of the total probability points in a giant distribution is equal to 1. But same is true, as I told you earlier, for any distribution. So you see, the sum on all the PMF points in y is also equal to 1. You can simply note it down here. 0.9, 0.09 plus 0.1 plus 0.81, it all gives you 1. And similarly, the sum of all the probability points in the individual or marginal distribution of random variable x is also equal to 1. So this is how we find the individual distribution from the individual distribution from the giant distribution. So as yet we have discussed only two interconnected concepts. One is the giant distribution of two random variables taken together, and then how to extract the individual distribution out of that giant distribution. I'll give you a quick repetition of these concepts because this is important for you. So we started off with chapter number 3, that is about multiple discrete random variables, and I told you that I'll initially discuss the concepts of only two random variables taken together, and then we'll generalize those concepts to more than two random variables. The first topic is giant probability mass function, or giant PMF, or giant distribution of two random variables taken together. So this is the notation, and it means that this represents the probability that a random variable x assumes this particular value, and simultaneously, which means intersection or this comma or the AND relation, the probability that x is equal to x and y is equal to y. How we can write it? We went through an example and we generated a tree diagram, and then the values of the individual random variables and their corresponding giant probabilities. The same can be written in a list form here as such, and same can be written in a matrix form here as such, and the same can be written in the plot form here as such. So you see, each of these entries is a giant PMF point. You can imagine it as a small sphere, and you also note that the sum of all the probability points in a giant distribution is equal to 1. We moved on and discussed a theorem, and that says for any subset B of the xy plane, the probability of the event B is basically the sum of all the points contained in that event B. You simply sum all those probabilities of the points within B, and you can always refer back to understand this concept through this one-dimensional concept, where we said that if we throw a 6-sided die, this is the total sample space, and then you define an arbitrary event B, a subset B of the total sample space, call it 1, 2, 3, 4, then what will be the probability of B? It is basically the sum of all the probability points of the subset. So all the points contained in B, you sum their individual probabilities, and then this will basically the probability of event B. This is for one-dimensional case. This is for the two-dimensional case. We'll move on. Then we noted how we can find the marginal PMF or the individual PMF of this from a giant distribution. So you have a giant distribution, and you can find the individual distribution of any random variable in that giant distribution by summing up the giant PMF points along the other variable. So if you want the individual or the marginal, the same thing, individual or the marginal distribution of random variable x from the giant distribution of x comma y, you sum the giant distribution along y. And if you want the PMF of y, you sum along x. The same has been elaborated here through an example. The same example, you have this giant distribution, you want to find the probability distribution of random variable y, which means you want to find what is the probability that y is equal to 0, what is the probability that y is equal to 1, and what is the probability that y is equal to 2. So you simply take the giant distribution, and since you want the PMF on y, you sum the giant distribution along x. So you simply sum all these points like this along x. So when you sum all these 3 points along x, this total sum becomes 0.1. So this is the probability that y is equal to 0. Similarly, you sum all these 3 points. So these 3 points summed up together gives you the probability that y is equal to 1. And these 3 points, remember, of the giant distribution, these 3 points of the giant distribution, when summed along x, reach y is equal to 2. So the total probability of y is equal to 2 is 0.81. We already noted that this probability sum is 1, but this probability sum is also 1. This is the individual distribution of random variable y, and this is the individual or marginal distribution of random variable x. Please note, marginal distribution or marginal PMF of one random variable or the individual PMF are one and the same thing. So now we have alhamdulillah completed the first part of the lecture for week number 9 for this course on probability methods in engineering. Note that this course is for all the 3 sections A, B and C. I'll give you a few more written examples